Magic 8 Ball. Will they pass the Algebra 1 Regents? Reply hazy. Try again. I guess I have to ask it during the video sometime. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. This is day 3 of Systems of Equations. So what's the game plan today? Here, what we want to do is we want to solve equations that have both an x and a y. Right? So here, notice that this says level 1. Here it's going to say level 2, and here it'll get spicy and it gets to level 3. Let's work on the fundamentals and the basics. So here, pencil ready, mind ready, muscles ready. Let's have this down. So let's talk about strategy even before the steps. So let's copy this down. 1. Notice we have two equations with both x and y. Okay, so that's the first thing. Notice that you have two equations, right? The first equation is negative x minus 8y equals negative 30, and the other equation is 2x plus 8y equals 36. You have two equations with both an x and a y. What do you want to do? What do we want? We want one equation with the same variable. Either all x's or all y's. Right? So notice that this equation has x and y. This equation has x and y. Right? Pause the video if you need to copy this down. But what we want to do is you want to create one equation with the same variable. So what is something that we want that is nice? From yesterday we learned we can add equations. You remember those ideas that we did yesterday? You can add equations. So something that's nice over here is, when you take a look over here, notice we have a negative 8y and a positive 8y. So you kind of want like a positive and a negative, or a negative and positive of the same number next to the y, or the variable. Now, why will this be helpful? Let's add the equations, right? Let's add the equations. So if I were to add these equations, the first one is negative x plus 2x. That's the same as saying, grab your calculator. Like if I say, what is negative x plus 2x, that's equal to the same as negative 1 plus 2, right? Because this is a negative 1 here, and that's a positive 2. So negative x plus 2x is just x, or negative 1 plus 2 is just 1. So notice that this just becomes x. Then what happens, let's zoom in a little bit. Then what happens is, notice what's negative 8y plus 8y? What is negative 8y plus 8y? Well, that's the same as doing what? Negative 8 plus 8. So pause the video. What do you think this will be? Right? It's just 0, right? This would be 0y. And even though it says 0y over here, well, you could just say it cancels. And now here, what you have is you bring down the equal sign, and then you say, hey, what's negative 30 plus 36? What is negative 30 plus 36? This will be what? Positive 6. So notice now, you just have x equals 6, right? So what's nice about this equation, remember, you want one equation with the same variable. So here you got lucky that it just canceled out and x is equal to 6. So now we know x is equal to 6. Okay. Next, what you want to do is, well, I don't have space over here. Let's put this in as number 4. Now, how can we find y? That's the question. How can we find y? Now, plug in x equals 6 into either equation. You want to plug in this x equals 6 into the first equation, right? We could say the first equation over here or the second equation over here. It won't matter, right? So what you're going to do is, here, it plugs in, hold on one second. Let's jump back. Here it says, now plug in x equals 6 into either equation. So here I have negative x minus 8y is equal to negative 30. And then what I'm going to do is, anywhere I see x, what am I going to do? I'm going to plug in that 6. So now what does it become? Negative 6 minus 8y equals negative 30. Then what happens is you distribute the negative here. What I want you to do is pause the video. So try and pause the video. Do you know how to solve for y if I give you this? What do you think you have to do? Right? So this is negative 6 minus 8y equals negative 30. Now how do you get y by itself? Right, so what I'll do is I'm running out of space, so I'll put it over here. So if I have negative 6 minus 8y is equal to negative 30. So how do I get y by itself? I'm going to add 6, because you want this y by itself. Here this cancels out. I bring the negative 8y over here, equals negative 24. Then, from here, what do you think you do? Divide both sides by negative 8. So now I'm going to get this cancels, and y is equal to negative 24 divided by negative 8. You could use the calculator if you like, but if you do this, y is equal to 3. And then bam! This is our system of equations, right? So notice that x is equal to 6 and y is equal to 3. What you could do is, well, how can I check it? How can I check it? Let me change this real quick. Okay, how can I check it? Well, let's plug it into one of this equation, the first equation or the second equation. So if I plug it into the second equation, for example, 2x plus 8y equals 36. Remember, x is equal to 6 and y is equal to 3. Then all you have to do is you have 2 times 6 plus 8 times 3 equals 36, right? You're just plugging in what you get for x and y. And then what is going to happen? This is 12. 8 times 3 is 24. Question mark, does it equal 36? Yes, it does. 12 plus 24 is equal to 36. And then voila. Okay? So this is how you kind of go through this system of equations. What I'd like you to do is pause the video. Try this one on your own. Let's see what you got. And the same strategies apply, right? Maybe what we should do is we should review real quick. Let's review what we did. Notice that you have two equations with both x and y. Right? You have one equation with x and y, and you have another equation with x and y. What do you want? We want one equation with the same variable, either all x's or all y's. So yesterday you learned you could add equations, right? So here, notice that why were you lucky over here, or why is this nice? It's because you have a negative and a positive of the same number. So what happens is, when you add these two equations, this negative 8 plus 8 cancels out, and you're just left with x. Now that you're just left with x, you got lucky that you have x is equal to 6. Once you get one of the variables, what can you do? You could plug this variable into either equation, right? So that's how it works. Pause the video and let's see what you got. Let's see if you could do the other question. What we're going to do is the rest of these levels we will do in class. Okay? We will do these questions in class. Okay, I'll see you.